take it with you. Nope. Sorry. We've got to re-examine our examination. What is the test of life? What is your test? We have to come to the point where we have to re-examine our examination. Because maybe it's the test that is the problem, not the test takers. Oh, in a literal sense? Oh, black history? Oh, no. No, European history is required, but not African history. No. That's a tag-on. Special program. Everybody doesn't have to take that. It's English literature. Sorry. We got to re-examine the examination. Maybe the reason why some folks can't pass the test is because maybe they haven't been taught. We got to see what's on the test. It is so embarrassing when I go to colleges and high schools and that sort of thing and ask students, you know, Elvin Addison, well, we know about the light bulb and all that kind of stuff. We need light bulbs. I agree with that. I don't like dark either. But when I ask about Charles Drew, they say, Charles who? I'm talking about professors. Charles Drew. He was a black man who went to Howard University, and he was interested in hematology. Couldn't go to any school in the U.S., would admit him, all right, because of the color of his skin, the color. That's what you go by, color, okay? And he had to go to McGill University in Canada to get his degree. He was the one that discovered the formula for preserving blood plasma. The man who has saved I don't know how many lives on this globe because people needed blood, and he developed that. Some of those same fellows you're putting in jail may be the ones who have the ability to find out how to cure some of these diseases that we're having, if they were put in the right situation. I'll give you one example. I'm not talking about imagination. We developed the tennis unions in Chicago, back in the mid-60s, on the west side. And the secretary didn't even show up one day. We had any information, and she was supposed to be the secretary of the tennis union. Yes, a young black woman. She came finally to the next meeting, and she apologized and said that she didn't make it to the last meeting because her child, all three of them actually, had been rushed to the doctor because they had lead poisoning. Lead poisoning? Yes. Paint peeling off the wall in her apartment. Babies sucking on windowsills. Lead-based paint. That's where it was discovered, by the way. Okay? That's where it was exposed in West Side, Chicago. American Friends Service Committee Project House. Yes. We say, what? Yes. The peeling of the paint off the wall, and some of it dropped from the ceiling into the crib for the little babies. And they started eating these paint chips that had lead in it. Now they also had glucose. They're a little sweet. So like sweet little chips. There was a death to the little babies. The crib became the crib. I became infuriated. I went down to the director of the health department in Chicago, and now all I could do is try to hold my peace. You know, you have to hold your peace. I had to hold my peace. Those little babies dying, they get brain damage. And they damage your brain. I don't care how good education you have. With brain damage, no, it doesn't matter what your educational system was about. Swollen abdomens. That lead got all in their bodies before they even got a chance to even go to school. And those folks looked at me when I went down in Chicago, and I said, we need to have a screening test so we can find out, you know, how many of these children are affected by this, so we can, you know, try to help them. You know what that director told me? He said, well, if I did that, the hospitals would be full. I was much younger then. I said, would you rather for the funeral homes to be full? Now, that was not the nonviolent thing to say, you know, but I'm just confessing. I'm still working, okay? Okay, so you're not gonna do anything about the problem? I went and rounded up some high school students. We call them SOUL, that was the name of their group. Student Organization for Urban Leadership, SOUL. Went and got those students. We got a professor, a white professor from the University of Chicago, and he went and developed a litmus test for urine. Because if you could determine the corporal porphyrin in the urine, if it was a high reading, then that meant that there was a high reading of lead in the blood system. But we got scientific about this thing. Yeah, we organized these high school students, and they went and put on those white coats, you know, the lab jackets and stuff. We set up a doggone lab down in the basement of Project House. Yeah. And then we sent them out in the community to start collecting urine. Oh, Jesse, a good friend of mine, he just made a joke out of it and said I was the greatest pee collector in the world. Yeah, we know how to get the urine, even from little girls. I can tell you, sidebar. We got the urine samples, and we started dragging those babies down to St. Luke Presbyterian, piling up in the hospital. Yeah. And the teachers from the school, Hudson High School, came down to Project House. They said, well, what's going on down here? Well, what's going on? The teachers? And I noted they were chemistry and biology teachers. The students who were in the project, their grades went up so high. They got so excited and interested. Environmental poisoning, that's what that was. And they would just, look, that's what I'm talking about. Find something for these students to be challenged at doing some good in their community, and you will see their grades go up. They just don't know what to do with algebra once they finish passing the test. We need to re-examine the examination.